It's arguably one of the most recognizable buildings in Torrance.
It's part of what Torrance is. You can't separate the city of Torrance and Torrance High in its history from the very beginning.
Since it first opened its doors in September of 1917 as the K-12 Torrance School, Torrance High School's main building has served the education of thousands of Torrance students. Its ornate facade is also one of Hollywood's most popular high school sets, making it recognizable around the world. Its beauty obvious, designed in the neoclassical architectural style known as Beaux Arts that peaked in popularity in America between 1880 and 1920.
Beaux Arts was a return to the Renaissance, or Renaissance especially in America. It came from the École Beaux Arts, or the School of Beaux Arts in France, where in fact they had combined architecture, arts, music. So as a movement came in, it covered so many of the different arts at the same time.
The unmistakable Beaux Arts features include a short flat roof and numerous arches that serve form over function.
On the first floor, the arches over the windows. They do have square windows, but the arch is reflected there. Then there's, in most of the Beaux Arts, you can see as it goes to the second floor, almost a totally different architecture. It could be a separate type of building altogether. You see at the second floor, the square arches that are between the sets of windows. Down here at the main entry, these columns are not structural columns. They're put on there kind of like gingerbread. It's for the looks. And so you have a lot of ornamentation.
The school's elaborate design is very different from the more functionally designed school buildings of today. World War I had been good to the manufacturing plants in Torrance, and the new industrial city was thriving. It needed a school to serve its growing population. According to this March 1916 article in the Los Angeles Times, the Dominguez Land Company offered to sell a 9-acre parcel of the highest and most sightly ground in Torrance for school purposes to the Los Angeles Board of Education. The land company's president, Jared Sidney Torrance, and First National Bank president George W. Post were instrumental in finalizing the deal. The plan called for the design of a 10-room building to be called Torrance School. The final blueprint, the work of architect Richard Colin Farrell. Farrell designed 2 additional wings that extended the building in 1921. 1922 was the last graduating class of Torrance School. The campus was then split in 2. This building, on the south end of campus, would serve for a time as Torrance Elementary School. The upper campus, which then served grades 7 through 12, was renamed Torrance High School. As architecturally significant as the main building is, it was actually scheduled to be torn down in the 1970s. A group of dedicated alumni rallied to save it with just a few structural changes.
The gentleman that was in the building and safety department, Don Fulton, was a Torrance High grad. So Don Fulton rallied his fellow Tartars, and the City of Torrance worked with the school district to do the earthquake proofing of the school, but to make sure that the preservation of the original building stayed.
Among casualties of the retrofit, interior ornamental pillars were covered with orange 70s tile, but the school's famous front and senior patio and fountain behind it remain intact.
It's the culmination of an effort that involved the U.S. Department of the Interior, the State Department of Historic Resources, the city officials, the school district.
In 1983, Torrance High celebrated placement on the National Register of Historic Places. While the main building receives most of the attention for this accolade, what many don't realize is that Torrance High School has 3 additional buildings on the registry. These include the Mediterranean-style science building, now used for home economics, on the north end of campus, the site of the original Torrance Elementary School and adjacent Cafe Auditorium, built in Italian Renaissance style, on the south end of campus, and the Assembly Hall, built after the original auditorium was destroyed in the 1933 earthquake.
The 33 earthquake comes and sadly really made an impact here at Torrance High. The beautiful auditorium, which was an auditorium on the top and a cafeteria below and gymnasium below, was destroyed.
Construction for the assembly hall that stands today was funded by the Works Progress Administration, or WPA. The WPA was the largest agency created by Franklin Delano Roosevelt and an act of Congress in 1935 to provide income and jobs to the unemployed during the Great Depression. Additional WPA projects in Torrance include the since demolished Torrance Civic Auditorium, located on the corner of El Prado and Cravens, the post office building on Marcelina, still in use today, the original City Hall located on Cravens, and the original library on Post, currently serving as the Torrance Historical Society and Museum.
It's amazing. I'm just so thrilled to be going to a school like this. We got to see this really cool mural made by the WPA. It was an awesome experience just to get to see something like that in your lifetime, and it's cool to actually go to school every day and see it.
This mural was also painted in 1936 and commissioned by the WPA. It's since been moved from its original campus location to the Assembly Hall foyer. Its history, along with the history of the buildings on campus, is now incorporated into the lesson plans of the high school's history classes.
The students of Torrance High School paid $100 to have Anna Catherine Skeel come with her assistants and paint this mural. It's a one-of-a-kind. It's called Home Life and Old Taos. In Taos, New Mexico. She had actually gone and lived with the Native Americans there for a couple of years and came back and did the painting. Unfortunately, when they put it up there, they put it up on plywood using staples and glue. And through the years, the glue kind of made it really foggy looking, and Richard Clutter from class of 37, who was an art teacher, came to the Alumni Association and said, we're going to lose this mural, and it's a one-of-a-kind, it's very valuable. So we raised $35,000 and we restored it.
Thanks to the foresight and actions of the city and dedicated alumni, Torrance High School will continue to stand as a distinguished landmark for the city, students, and the entertainment industry to enjoy for generations to come.
Not any other high school looks like the way this does, and there's so much history here, and it feels rewarding when you're walking through the campus to be like, wow, I'm standing on like a landmark, you know? So it's great.
Colleen Farrell with the Centennial History Minute.